James, thanks for sitting down with us. Let's start with a broad view. How would you sum up this year's financial results?
So I'd say it's a year of real tangible progress. We've delivered another year of record revenue, with revenues over 94 million. We've reduced our cost base, and that's driven a pre-player trading profit of 2.7 million. Together with the fact that we strengthened our balance sheet towards the end of the financial year with a new equity investment, then it's been a really solid year, certainly in the core operating level. We are still reporting an overall accounting loss. A lot of that is driven by player amortisation, where transfer fees are recognised over the life of the contract, together with timing of player sales, with the likes of Hamza Gamani and JFD being recognised post-year end. So they'll appear in next year's financial results rather than this year's. So overall, while we're still reporting a loss, it's been a real positive year in terms of driving that core operating profit.
You mentioned it was another year of record revenue for Rangers. What's driving that growth?
So the growth is driven across multiple fronts. First of all, match day is a huge aspect of our operation here at Ibrox, both from a general perspective and general admission perspective and from a hospitality perspective. So getting into the latter stages of European competition with sort of memorable games, certainly here at home against Fenerbahce, the quarter-final against Bilbao, both from a sporting perspective were super important, but also from a financial perspective were very important for the football club. So match day and the support from our supporters is absolutely core to the football club here, both on a sporting perspective and from a financial perspective. On top of that, we also have really strong relationships with our sponsors and our partners. We've seen a number of renewals with a lot of good work being done in the last 2 years in terms of driving incremental revenue from those renewals, and that's something that we'll look to continue to do and look to tap into the expertise of our new ownership in terms of being able to enhance and accelerate some of those commercial deals. So really, as I say, it's across a multiple range of factors that help us get to that 94 million number.
We made a clear commitment back in 2023 to eliminate the pre-player trading loss. Having delivered on that, what does it mean for the club's stability in future?
Yeah, that commitment was really important to us. It was looking to demonstrate that the football club could be run sustainably on a core basis. That is before any player amortisation and before any player gains. So from our perspective, managing to eliminate that in 2 seasons, and it only being the second year in recent times where we have delivered a pre-player trading profit, shows that tangible progress has been made. Indeed, the only previous time that we have delivered that in recent years was in the run to the Europa League final. So being able to do that in a season when we get to the quarterfinals, and again, we don't necessarily land where we want to domestically, shows that financially this football club can be run in a sustainable manner. In terms of what does that mean moving forward, because we're still reporting an operating loss, we're on a journey. We're not at the destination. There's still a lot of work to be done. With the expertise that's coming in from new investors, and the ability for us to utilise that expertise to drive the club forward, then we fully expect in the coming seasons to be able to run on a fully sustainable basis and really help this club grow in the longer term.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, the club has however reported an overall loss. Is that a concern, and how close are we to becoming fully self-sustaining?
So I think from are we concerned about it? I would say we're focused on it. We recognise that while we can move the club from an operating position into positive territory, we do also need to focus on that player trading aspect. And again, post-year end with the sales of the likes of Hamza Gamani, the likes of JFD, the likes of Cyril Dessers, we have delivered gains post-year end. It's beginning to recognise that investments that we've made in previous windows have begun to deliver dividends, and we hope that's going to be the case again moving forward.
You mentioned the player trading model. That continues to be important in terms of financial model. Are we starting to see a return on that?
Yeah, so looking at the likes of, as I said, Hamza Gamani to Leo, JFD to Palmeiras, those sales are demonstrate that this football club can recruit well, can develop players, and can ultimately realise value in the market at the right time. At the end of the day, a club like Rangers, winning trophies is everything that we are here for and everything that we want to achieve. So it's important that we don't become overly focused on player trading relative to success on the park. But in order to deliver that sustainable business model, particularly in Scotland, where we are really over leveraged towards European revenues, as I've mentioned before, it's something that we will obviously have to continue to focus on and look to really continue to deliver value from in the longer term.
And the club's now under new ownership. What does that make the way the Rangers operates, and what does that next phase look like?
So for us as a football club, the equity investment towards the end of the financial year was extremely significant in strengthening the balance sheet. Again, we look at things like UEFA regulations and making sure that we are well within those limits, which we are, is something that is really important for the football club, and equity investment is something that really supports that. From a day-to-day operational perspective, as I mentioned, we're able now to tap into deep expertise from people who have operated at an extremely high level in the sports industry across multiple sports. So ability to tap into that expertise and understand the direction of travel and the timing of investment and the focus of investment on the sporting side and on the infrastructure side can really help us grow the club and move the club forward in a sustainable way.
And just with all that in mind, what does that mean for the upcoming January transfer window?
So in a recent interview with Kevin, I think he described it as we will be active, and that's something that I would back and I would endorse. I think from our perspective, we recognise that summer is not one window. We will be looking at doing this over a number of different windows, and we'll be looking at continuing to invest in the team. Ultimately, from a finance perspective, our job is to create that platform to invest in the first team, to invest in the football side of this business. We've done a decent job on that in recent years, and again, we've managed to deliver incremental equity investment that can support that further. So again, we expect to be active, and then I'll leave the football side to the professionals.
Just finally, what's the main message you want the supporters to take from these results about where the club is now and obviously where we're heading?
Yeah, so I think, look, as I said, I think it's a step forward. Certainly on the core basis, we have delivered on our commitment to reduce and remove that £10.5 million operating loss, which again, credit goes to everybody within the business in terms of the focus and the drive to get to that point. We're on a journey. We are not there yet by any stretch of the imagination, and we have taken in a lot of new investment and have delivered a lot of investment over the summer. We focused investment on the football side. We will be focusing investment on the infrastructure side as well to improve the fan experience. From my perspective, a big thank you to the supporters, those who follow both near and far, go to home games, away games. This really does truly have a transformational impact on the football club from a financial perspective. It is important for us that we recognise where the club has been, where the club is going, and ultimately where we want to be in the future. And the financial aspect of that is purely to make sure that we can put as much financial capital towards the first team performance, towards football performance, in order to deliver that success that the club so richly deserves.